Oh, hello there. Yes, well, the wee hours, bank holiday Monday. I've got a cat sitting wheezing next to me. He's never been the same since he got mauled by a fox. Anyway, yes, this time of year, it gets to round about Easter and I do have to kind of have earnest chats with various of my students about the fact that there isn't very much time left and you might need to do some work because Easter's your last chance. And then suddenly it gets to the first bank holiday in May and they realise that they haven't done anything and the GCSEs are next week. Yeah, I think they start on Friday. Yes, might be an idea to do some work for a change. And there's a sense of that with senior Conservatives who are suddenly waking up to the fact that, once again, it's another 5 years down the line and they still haven't done anything. And they're all looking at the November resits, metaphorically or otherwise, yes. So in today's Telegraph we had Miriam Gates who says, "Reader, we blew it. The route back to my party is steep and narrow," which is an interesting kind of viewpoint of completely hopeless. And her solution, of course, is to, basically make some noise about something. I guess with Miriam it'll be how much they dislike trans people, because we can see how well that translates in the polls to nothing. We had Suella Braverman, as I already said yesterday, about needing to change course. Yes, because there's plenty of time to do that, but it's worthwhile just unpacking exactly what she said. It was on tax, migration, the small boats and law and order, we need to demonstrate strong leadership, not managerialism. Okay, I thought personally governments were into managerialism because they're governments, but not according to her, of course, because she lives in that kind of fantasy Ayn Rand world whereby you magically can do things, which means, of course, when you can't do things, it must be the communists in the State Department that are stopping you. Make a big and bold offer on tax cuts. Offer, you notice, not actuality, rather than tweaking what we saw in the budget. Place a cap on legal migration once and for all. Leave the ECHR to stop the boats. Tangible improvement to our NHS and tougher sentences for criminals. Start holding failing police chiefs to account so that antisocial behaviour, shoplifting and knife crime are actually sorted out. Take back control of our streets from the extremists, and instead of paying lip service in guidance on transgender ideology at school, let's actually change the law to ban the abuse of our children. Yes, indeed. So I'm sure all of that stuff is entirely doable and legal, but of course it's all not what people want, Suella. Have you not yet got that through to your skull? It's not what people want, is it? Yeah? Because, there was a 2019 manifesto when various things were pledged. We had, let's have a look, extra funding for the NHS with 50,000 more nurses and 50 million more GP surgery appointments a year. Let's just look at that one on its own, shall we? No, you haven't done that, have you? Which is, something that you promised 5 years ago. Not been done. And the other things on the list have also not been done. Try that. No. We'll get our friends in the media simply to blame the Muslims. After all, it's their fault. Let's play the race card instead. That's going to be the line, isn't it? Yeah. It's no wonder we lost in London with such a brilliant candidate we had with Susan Hall, because the brown people stopped us. Maybe we should take some laws about them, yes. Not the nice brown people like Suella, you understand, but the bad brown people, the ones that go to the wrong church and usually on Saturday. We're fine with Fridays, fine with Sundays. Don't really like Saturday for some reason. Yes, and the Times actually managed to come out with this, which floored me yesterday. It's worthwhile reading this because it's a piece primarily about Starmer, but in it it's got this, right? All of which makes it more intriguing that allies of Johnson and Nigel Farage have recently been in contact to discuss a possible realignment of the right after the general election. Johnson has said that he's considering when the time might be right to re-enter the frontline political fray. His team denied claims that he'd recently talked directly to Farage and stressed that he had voted on a Tory on Thursday. But it is understood there have been communications between the camps. One scenario under consideration would see Farage fight and win Clacton in Essex for reform. Johnson would likely fight by-election in the next couple of years if whoever replaces Sunak fails to make headway and help to woo Farage to join the Conservatives. Yes, indeed, because there's nothing like, reheating yesterday's leftovers, which were left over from the day before. So let's think about this as a bold new idea, shall we? Let's get Boris Johnson back. God, that'll work. Yeah, because after all, it hasn't, has it? No. And suddenly the jarring breaks of reality, will hit, won't they, at the actual election. I mean, they don't seem to have particularly hit with the local elections. Oh, well, we didn't actually lose 500 seats. No. So that's okay then. So I'm sure everything will be fine. And Rishi can, report happily in the Telegraph today that it might be a hung parliament. Yes, it might be. I'm sure if you, kind of invented a kind of alien invasion or a rip in the space-time fabric science fiction story, we might, yes. But it's worthwhile just going back to, again, reality and see what people actually are concerned about. Let's have a look, shall we? This is from Ipsos, April. It's reasonably up to date. So, the economy. Yes, so not the ECHR, Suella. The economy is the burning issue for most people because this is a government who, for the last 15 years, have very directly impoverished them. And for the second time in my lifetime, they've kind of woken up to it. So maybe that'll be it. Not tax cuts for very rich people, Suella, and the rest of them, yeah, because we've played that game before. Do you remember there was an MP at Prime Minister called Liz Truss who tried that one? Didn't really work out. Let's look at the next one. NHS, hospitals and healthcare. We go back to the 2019 manifesto. Not delivered upon, yeah? Nothing will happen with that because if you're going to run something down like that, I think you run out a railroad track, haven't you? Inflation and prices linked to the economy. Yeah, can't do anything about that. Completely outside your control. Completely outside your control. Other than putting a lot of pressure on the Bank of England to make everyone pay to try and bring inflation down. Not the rich, obviously, because, we need them for other things. Then finally we get to immigration and migrants. Fourth one on the list. Nothing about the ECHR, because of course that won't actually change anything other than make us an international pariah. Housing, yeah, linked to the economy, linked to cost of living. Nothing that this government has done. Absolutely nothing, yeah? Poverty and inequality, linked to the economy. Education and schools, linked to the economy. Not trans issues, you notice, but no. Let's pass laws to inflict misery on a tiny handful of people, particularly the young, because they probably won't vote for us anyway, what with the teachers telling them not to. Lack of faith in politicians and government comes up next. Yes, I wonder why. Suella, Miriam, Boris, Liz, et al. I wonder why people have a lack in faith in you lot, eh? And finally, down at the bottom, defence. Yes, maybe you can make sabre rattling sounds, but it's not going to get you any extra votes, is it? Yes, and environment and climate change. Yes. Oh, we must scrap net zero. That's the plan, isn't it? We must scrap net zero because magically that'll something tax cuts. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just almost sad for them, isn't it? It's just sad that these people are still being platformed like they have anything to say. And of course, the problem therefore goes to our media class, who agree with these people because they have dinner parties with them, yeah? Suella gets to spout this in the Telegraph because she meets Telegraph writers on a regular basis and she lives in the same world that they do. So magically for them, this actual reality isn't their reality. And they will, if they can get away with it, change your reality to theirs. And they don't really care how much you suffer in the meantime. Anyway, do have a lovely Bank Holiday Monday if you can do. Enjoy.